intentional by not bringing bone straight. We just want to explore every other design that everybody already knew, but sometimes, irrespective of their different structures or their different looks, we find it a kind of difficult to decide on what we are to go for. This exact content is for you to make your choices aside bone straight, because what we dealt with today just bounces and curls. Hi, CKT fans, and welcome to Chikatina Headspace. And again, compliments of the season as we are diving close into our festive period, which is a Christmas. Here are the 5 most popular hairstyles for your Xmas. It is not coming in order of importance, rather it is coming in the order of their popularity. And the first one is pixie coil. All right. So each and every one of us know what pixie coil is. So the differences between one pixie coil to the other is their hair grade. One could be super double drawn, the other can be double drawn, while the next can be single drawn. Although in between the single and the double, I personally found what they call standard hair quality, which we've been using in some of our description or under our description in some of the hairs we usually sell. So whenever you hear me say SDQ, which is the standard hair quality, I'm only trying to refer to that. As much as it is not a double drawn, but it can be mistaken to be that. Except those who has deep insight about hair will know that isn't a double drawn, all right? So during this festive season, if you are still confused on what you want to go for, pixie coil is there to go for. Then the second one is bouncy coil, all right? This is bouncy coil, and the bouncy coil came also just like exactly what I said about the pixie coil. It has the super, it has the double, it also has the single drum. But usually, you can actually manage pixie coil in their single drum manner, but to manage bouncy in their single drum manner, it actually doesn't come out as bouncy as expected, okay? So, this is number 2. Next again is Boomies coil. So, Boomies coil has this kind of similarity between it and pixie coil. But I will have to do a kind of comparison between the two of them so you see the differences for yourself. So as you can see, because I was quite intentional in bringing this Boomies coil alongside with pixie coil, which they happen to be the same color shade. But if you take a look at these two, you will notice this one has more or less like a more flatter and a bolder coil pattern or structure compared to this. I hope you can see this. That is not to say you do not have the bold size called pixie and their tiny size pixie. All right. And when you refer to the tiny size of pixie, the coil will no longer be CURL, becomes the COIL. These are one of the fundamental I've already spoken or taught over the months, trying to differentiate coil structures or coil pattern when you are referring them in their order of their nomenclature names. Okay. So having said about Boomies coil, like I said, comparing the both of them, you can see the differences. Okay? This is flatter and bolder, while this is tinier. Okay? Then, again, under the pixie coil, do not forget that we are still under the kind of hairs that we are kind of expecting, or they will be good for festive period. So it's left for you to choose based on your choices. Okay? So next again is still the same pixie, but this is a newly introduced color, not the very so common color. It is 1B4. So you can see, this is pixie coil 1B4. So this pixie coil 1B4, it also has its closure. So, you know, all this hair we've been showcasing, the usage of their basis is only dependent on the user. You can decide to use the 4x4, of which 4x4 is gradually getting outdated because everybody wants to go with the wider closure base, right? Which is 5x5, 6x6, 6x8, and what have you, okay? So if it's fixing from what we just showcased now you want to go for, is either you go for the natural color, I have the natural colors, is either you go for the natural color, you go for the natural color tip 4, right? Or you go for the piano, all right? Or you go for Boomies. Boomies also has the natural color, right? So from here, we move straight into the not so common, but it's a really a kind of I will call it an executive hairstyle. Not so common, but when it's properly made or arranged or kind of it is being laid in layers, the uniqueness speaks volume, and which is J coil. So when you see this J coil being fed in its layered form, believe me, you can never know this was the exact hairstyle that came into life with this style. Even if when you decide to make it to still be equal length, the up look comes out heavenly. All right. So from the look of things or from what I have said so far, we have ended up explaining or kind of showcasing about 4 to 5 designs, which we started with Pixie. We followed it up by Bouncy. Next was Bunny's coil, and we are ending with J coil. Kindly tell me in the comment section which of the other designs, aside from bone straight, because I'm being intentional by not bringing bone straight, we just want to explore every other design that everybody already knew, but sometimes, irrespective of their different structure or their different looks, we find it a kind of difficult to decide on what we are to go for. This exact content is for you to make your choices aside bone straight, because what we dealt with today just bouncies and toilies. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you on our next video. Bye.